Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm trying to watch different feeds going on at the same time. Thank you all for coming to this latest installment of Poetic License. Da-da-da-da. I'm trying to show signs off for everybody. Hi, Poetic License. I'm glad you guys were able to make it by. It is technically a holiday weekend.
Recording in progress.
And Zoom host John F. McMullen is recording the Zoom meeting for anybody who's interested, and maybe he will post it up for people who regularly show up here anyway. Thank you all for coming by. I'm looking forward to hearing everybody's poetry, music, short stories potentially. I'm trying to look and see what the people that are here for this. But per usual, I am going to read in the first round material from the new issue of cc&d, which is titled Liberty. Books are based on accepted writings in the book, and somebody had something titled Liberty, so I thought, why don't I find this picture of a guy dressed as a Statue of Liberty carrying a flag around in Times Square in New York, and set that up for a shot, because yay, Liberty, and he looks so passive. He's holding the flag like, I'm bored. I've got me a flag. Anywho, there's material, all sorts of different material in here, and I was going to share, because I can, because we should get moving, 4 pieces from this, because they're all relatively shorter, and they are all pieces that are also going to be published in the upcoming Cyberwit 2024 Janet Kuypers poetry book titled The Universe is in Your Hands. I don't have it yet, and so I can only show you a cover as of yet. They keep showing it to me, the proof copy, and I'm like, there are no fonts that are working on this. There are blank pages in the middle of this. How do we fix this problem? So I have no idea even when this book is going to be done. Hello, girly. I'm going to hold her again. Haha. But this first poem I'm going to share with you is titled, and Tom will know this one because it was accepted in the most recent Animal Tales book, and it is titled Choices We Make. I wiped the saliva inside my scuba mask to avoid fog underwater, for with only my snorkel I eventually held my breath and swam past the people, started counting the white-tipped sharks sleeping in a perfect row along the bottom of the Pacific. 1, 2, 3, 8, 9, 10, 28, 29, 30. I stopped counting as my swim mates feared for me, swimming with so many sharks. But my only fear was for their safety from the infringement of mankind. After stepping in the water on the then desolate Paradise Island where baby sharks and barracudas swarmed my feet, I rescued fish otherwise caught for food and rescued cats that were in violently abusive homes. I proudly choose their lives. The orcas and humpback whales whose families swam to Deception's Island's World War II bases. I'm trying to show you all the photos I can while I do this, you guys. To sea lions rushing past me in the Pacific near a mess of marine iguana carcasses at the Army's Belcher bases. To buffalo segregated by electric fences. To the mass-farmed animals mankind slaughters when they choose to consume death. When faced with death, I choose life. I got you some buffalo in there. I got some buffalo in there too. It's a short one to try to see. Thank you. I try to see how much I could cram into one short poem. As I said, these were all they're going to be in the upcoming Universes in Your Hands, as well as the recent publication release from cc&d, Liberty. Oh, and what's funny is I go by a neighborhood that I used to live in, which was Libertyville, and there's a Liberty Theater, and it was shut down. And I'm like, I have to take a picture of this. So I've got this Liberty Theater sign that's shut down for the back cover of cc&d. But the next book I wanted to share with, I think Thomas heard parts of this at past Animal Tales readings. This one is titled Only Eating Human Flesh. After flying 16 hours toward the sun to a time zone 11.5 hours early, exhausted from the flight, I was offered a fish pedicure. A fish pedicure with hundreds of fish in a long glass aquarium along the floor. I blindly sat down and started giggling as hundreds of fish swam by to eat the dead foot skin away. In New Delhi Times, they call this al-bal mujamar, which I have the translation here, but nobody knows it, I won't show it to you. A problem humanity created by exploiting thousands of animals to create some extravagant, unneeded, unnecessary niche market. These Gararufa fish are raised in tanks, imported into India, only eating human flesh when starved of their plankton and vegetable diet, giving the fish systematic bacterial infections that are actually resistant to most antimicrobial medications. And since this isn't a medical procedure, there's no oversight whatsoever. I did this in Delhi, thinking that this was good. Silly me. I should have known better. When it comes to humans, the first thing we think is abuse. And this vegetarian became a willing participant in the system for the torture and abuse for thousands and thousands and thousands. How do we show love if we turn a blind eye and give concern to our own comfort instead? Because, of course, giving ourselves comfort is all well and good, but wonder about the real cost of a feel-good. Step back and embrace the big picture, because when we see the good one thing can do, that's the real comfort for everyone. They took a picture of me at this foot spot. I'm going to show it to you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. They took a picture of me giggling in Delhi, in India, in an airport. Yeah, and I'm just giggling like an idiot with all of these Gararufa fish. And so I'm like, I figured may as well share that one for you guys, right? And I'm sharing it with you these four that I have in this issue, because somebody actually wrote me saying, I just got this issue and it is your poems are really, really good in this, because there's a whole different level of what you're deciding to cover and explore in them. So I wanted, and they're all relatively short, so I wanted to share four with you. This next one is titled, Otherwise Never-Ending Savor of Life. I should also explain, I'm sorry, I should probably explain, that these poems are all related to locations. You can see that these pictures actually do exist in this book. But there's an index in the back that will say, hey, where do you have things from this? And it goes through around the planet with different things. So this is actually for covering Puerto Rico. So. Not needing a passport from the U.S. And no, I won't sing that this is the 51st state of the USA, I promise. The original appeal of Puerto Rico, to me, was the rainforests. After arriving, and before we got the chance to visit bamboo-filled or even dry rainforests, we saw that this was the home of Arecibo. Well, that changed our mission altogether. And now, I'm not the type to believe in UFOs, but credit Arecibo Observatory with the first binary pulsar discovery and the first extrasolar planet discovery. I don't care if the X-Files brought Fox Mulder there looking for evidence of extraterrestrial life. This largest radio telescope for over 50 years had a real history and exploration that no one had known before. I was officially hooked. I gotta show you a shot of Arecibo while I'm at it. I'm trying. Shots are in the book as well. Arecibo Observatory. Of course, yeah, I was irritated that my camera couldn't span the entire basin, but they needed something that huge to measure the composition of the ionosphere. And hey, if you're worried about hazardous asteroids, Arecibo was our safety net and protector. So it was good to get that gushy feeling being in the presence of such a piece of astronomical history before making our way to the rainforest, which is why I've got to, of course, show a photo of me standing by Arecibo for you guys. I know, but it was just cool to be there. It's such a cheesy thing. I had to do it. But anyway, tropical rainforests. Knowing Brazil rainforests suffered a 20% deforestation for more orange groves and cow pastures for mass slaughter, I fear our planet losing its most major resource that saves us from climate catastrophe. So it was beautiful to immerse yourself among miles of bamboo, and breathtaking to see, and heartbreaking actually, to see that somebody actually carved a pair of initials into this otherwise never-ending savor of life. This is a shot of stuff, and you will see, I'm looking at this picture over here at the same time, but anyway. Before then, I kept bamboo growing in multiple spaces throughout my home. Since then, I've even saved more bamboo for display everywhere, including meditation spaces, and even have a floating picture frame around my El-Yunque tropical rainforest wall photography, as I still worry about when the rainforest will be forever gone. You can see the shot that I'm looking at right across the room there. Have this floating frame around a shot from El-Yunque, and there's probably initials etched in there somewhere, but it was amazing to see when will the rainforest be gone? Like Arecibo Observatory. In horror, I watched video footage of the destruction of a vanguard for learning about what is beyond our little blue ball. So, remember, it is thrilling that you can see what you can see while you have the chance, because knowing what humanity is capable of, you never know how long the things you love will last. Thank you. And thank you. Now I'm going to do one more short one that is a good ending one for the 4. This is titled Ever Elusive Happiness. When I was young, the world seemed the size of a thimble, and all I ever wanted was outside in my own backyard. But on my own, I suddenly became a dot in the universe. So, search for the key to solving this world's puzzle. After trying to climb one of the Alps in snow wearing socks and sandals, I went to a nearby mountain to spend 20 minutes in a radon-filled cave to try to gain my strength again. After being stared at by men in India for being a tall Western woman not dressed like a Muslim, I petted cows on the street before I retreated to their iron-rich, human feces-filled Bay of Bengal just to get my feet wet. I'm walking in this. I made my husband do it before, and he's like, well, I better go do it myself. When a man in the 3rd poorest country in the world was asked why the poor locals seemed so happy, he explained, "We may not have it all, but we can choose to be happy. And so we do."
Yeah.
And this is the battle every dot in the universe faces. No matter where we go, no matter what atrocities accost us, where is that damned key to that ever elusive happiness? Is it in a place, or do we first find it deep within? cc&d, thank you. I know it was longer, but there were 4 short ones for you guys, and thank you for letting me have that read. And I will let you know, and we will go around, and we should, I loved hearing the applause, Ron, but if it's not a problem, usually we're muted, but I'll mute myself when other people are going, but I'll tell people the order. John, you are, of course, the first one up, Mr. Zoom host, and then Ron will be following him, so prepare yourself for when John is done. We can go on a 3-poem rotation or something, if that's cool with you. The stage is yours, and you can take it away, my love.